Welcome back, Plug Nation. This may very well be the longest video we've had in a while, so whatever you got to do, make sure that like button is blue, hit that subscribe button if you're new, grab a snack, get some popcorn, strap in, and let's get into the news. So today, we have a lot to talk about. Power DF has been in a bunch of beef once again, but we have some exclusive NBA 2K22 information that could or could not be huge. We don't know yet for sure, but let's talk about it. So a bunch of people every year that get like the first 100 legend or something like that, they get a free copy of the next game. Now 2K sends it out a week later around that time, which doesn't make any sense because the people who was hitting legend first are 99% going to be getting the game on day one, you know, so they go ahead and buy the game. They don't wait for the game to come out. I don't know. I don't even want to get into that. I think it's funny, but they've been getting this email very early, and Power posted on Twitter. This is what it said. Never mind, it's real. I think NBA 2K22 next confirmed. Hello, Power DF. Congratulations on being one of the first to reach legend. To commemorate your achievement, we would like to send you a copy of NBA 2K22 Next Gen next year after launch. Please respond to this email by Tuesday, April 6th with your full name, console preference, shipping address. Thank you for supporting. Congratulations again on being one of the first to reach legend, the NBA 2K team. So as you see, it says Next Gen. Now, the biggest thing that we've been talking about, because, you know, this year's about over halfway done, we're wanting to know what is going to happen next year. We're already looking on to the next game. And like I've told you guys, I will be excited for the news. Let me get put down. I'm a 2K fan at heart. At the end of the day, doesn't matter how bad the game is. But when I'm excited for the news, doesn't mean that I'm trying to hype up the game. I just love 2K. And even if the game is trash, I've always loved 2K for a long time. So look, I'm not holding my breath on it being a great game. But the news every year has me hooked. You know what I'm saying? That's why you guys click on the videos for these news videos when the info comes out and all that. But anyway, we've been talking about what is going to happen next year. Is 2K going to drop 2 games? Because they did that this year, and we all know that they cannot. I mean, they can barely keep 1 game alive and keep it updated and all that. They should not make 2 games next year because that's bad. It's splitting up the community. They can barely keep 1 game alive with the updates, and they do not need to do that. Well, that email right there looks like it confirms that there's going to be 2 separate games, but we'll talk about in just a minute why that could not be true at the same time. So Power DF went on to tweet, and he said 2K is not going to limit next-gen gaming just so people that didn't purchase the next-gen console can be happy and next-gen gameplay suffers because they spent $500 plus on a console to play on a current-gen limited game. There will always be a next-gen version in my opinion. So that I understand to a certain degree. If 2K is to make a game that is only for next gen, that has 120 frames per second, and it looks like it definitely could not run on current gen, that is understandable. But we all know, and I exposed it earlier this year, that 2K21 next gen only runs at 60 frames per second. The buildings in the city, all that takes up all that room that you could say, oh, Badge, look at all the city and all that. You can't even walk in the buildings. There's nothing you can do with that. So unless they drop a game where it definitely looks like it cannot be on current gen, then I'll accept it. You see what I'm saying? But Power DF, he added Ronnie in his tweet with his email, and he added LD2K and a bunch of people that work at 2K. Then a few minutes later, he came back with this. It's real, confirmed. So most likely there is going to be 2 separate games for the next gen console and for the current gen console, whatever you want to call it. You guys know what I'm saying. Anyway, Power said, unpopular opinion. I honestly don't think affiliations should even be in the game, but if they are, you can't have a penalty for playing in other affiliations. It divides the community. So look, after this year, I've got my own feeling about that as well, but we all know that we've been talking about this since the beginning of the year. No one in the community is going to say, hey, you should actually have a penalty for playing in other affiliations. Like 2K should have been took that out. So hopefully they do that with next year's game, because we already know from Ronnie 2K's tweets, if you guys been watching the videos, that it's a very high chance they're going to have affiliations and mayors and all that next year as well, because he said mayors in years to come, if you guys seen that video and that tweet. So he's pretty much hinting at that. But to be honest, I truly don't care if NBA 2K22 has affiliations or not. I'm going back to what I've been saying over and over, that as long as the game is done correctly, that is what matters. So if they put affiliations in the game, do not have a penalty where if you play in another affiliation, you lose 50% of the level you could have gained playing in your own, because that basically takes out the whole reason for having affiliations. No one ever goes and plays in the other ones because they don't want to get less level. You see what I'm saying? I want you all to listen real carefully because as we've talked about before, I get dragged into this. Y'all wanted this, y'all wanted that. It does not matter to me as long as it's done correctly. What I truly want is new, exciting level rewards and good gameplay that doesn't have extremely broken mechanics, like pushing or something like that. Just as long as the game doesn't have game-breaking problems and has good level rewards with a decent builder system. That's all I actually care about. It can be one part, it can be in a cardboard box, as long as they have new level rewards and they're exciting and there's a reason to grind the game. Anyway, Swante said, no way 2K is doing 2Ks again. Why can't they just make one version on or downgrade it on current gen consoles? Other games aren't doing this. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Then Dignify went onto Twitter, and this is also very interesting about whether there's going to be 2 games or not, because he said, did anyone who hit Legend on current gen get an email about getting 2K22? Power said, I don't think that's one of their rewards. Dignify said, interesting. Power said, I would expect current gen to be the literally exact same game, and I'd be pretty shocked if there were significant additions. So we don't know for sure, but then Reddit threw a little twist to our story, and they said, seeing lots of talks about NBA 2K22 will have a current gen and next gen version, ... This isn't new. 2K14 to 2K18 all had one version for PS4/Xbox One and a separate one for PS3 and 360. PS3/360 versions of 2K15 to 2K18 were all just roster updates as the community upgraded to next gen. The popularity of my team today adds a new wrinkle though. Guessing the content drops will still be cross-gen. So, although we got that email that was already put out to the community, it could be how it used to be, where it was basically the same game. It's just 2K didn't really care about it. We all know Agent has made multiple videos on those awful games 2K dropped on the old gen consoles, but at the same time, we don't know. We don't know if it's going to be 2 separate games or it's going to be how it was in the past. We honestly have no idea because these consoles are so much stronger that 2K could easily make 2 games and just say, hey, this game that we made for next gen is not able to run on current gen. So we don't know 100% what the answer is. So we don't know 100% what the answer is. So we don't know 100% what the answer is, although it does look like 2K is going to lean towards making 2 games because they can make more money. And 2K wants to make more money. Any business does, but especially 2K. Now, TYCENO has not posted on Twitter, has not uploaded on YouTube in like 2-3 months, right? Has not said anything. Well, his editor went onto Twitter and said this. He posted the prints and said, for those worried about TYCENO, he will be back. Just be patient. 100 emoji. So, TYCENO will be returning. He didn't give a time frame at all, a specific time frame, but he will be returning, and I 100% trust the guy because that's his editor. I'm sure TYCENO, before even coming back, is going to message his editor and be like, yo, you ready to make some bangers? And that's exactly what happened. So D-Nell tweeted out on Twitter, and he said, gaming used to be an escape. Now I feel like I have to escape from gaming and expand. And I feel a lot of people wanting to leave the 2K community. I understand if you don't like the game or you just don't want to post 2K content anymore, I definitely advise that you should try and leave and do what you want to do that makes you happy. Now, as I said in the previous video, I will always do 2K. Even if I start doing in real life videos and all that, drop a like if you want to see a face cam video soon. If we get this video to 6,000 likes, I'll drop a face cam video within the next few months, okay? I got you guys. I'm telling you, even if I do expand, I'll never actually leave the 2K community because I just love 2K, man. I've played it since like 2K6, and I just don't think I'll ever not want to post 2K, even through the down years, the rough years. So I completely understand why people want to expand into other communities. That's perfectly fine. Now, Double H said this. NBA 2K21 current gen would be a whole lot better if you guys made it easier for builds besides a playmaking shot creator shoot consistently from the 3-point range at Baluba. You guys let me know how you feel about that. We talked about this in the previous video, how I think the 2K22 builder system should be, and I said the absolute most important thing that is what determines what builds can shoot. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I think they should let any build over like a 65 three-pointer shoot, but it's not going to be the same consistency. So the green window has to be much smaller for a build that has a 65 three-point rating than a build that has a 95. Not like 2K20 where any build can shoot, but it has the same green window. It's any build can shoot with a skill. It has a different green window. So you have to actually perfectly time the shots and able to shoot. That is going to make more builds viable on the game. So not like 2K20 or 2K21, kind of a mix where it's hard to shoot, but if you're really good at the game, you will be able to shoot, unlike on 2K21 current gen, where if you have like a 65 three-pointer, you're just really not going to be hitting. Even if you know your shot perfectly, you're still going to get lots of full bars and stuff like that as well. So into the next tweet, LuckDF posted on Twitter, and he said this. Hurts to say this, but 2K is depressing at this time. I used to play 2K for my enjoyment and happiness, but right now I can't force myself to enjoy that game, man. ... Gaming isn't the same, and I hope one day it'll be the same. 100 emojis. So I want you guys to let me know, what have you been doing? Are you still playing 2K every day? Are you watching some anime? Because anime is fire, by the way. Are you watching movies? Are you playing a different game? What are you guys doing since 2K is a little bit dry this year? Anyway, Power DF, you know, in the last video got into a gigantic beef, like the biggest beef we've seen this entire year. Well, it started again last night on Twitter. He said, "Is this good or bad, guys?" onto this reply that someone sent him, and this dude said, "LMAO. But the funny thing is, if you wagered Heartless or Fearless on an actual skillful game, you will be crumbled." And Power said, "Heartless and Fearless play in old 2K because they're bad at the new one. They'd get swept on next gen." And that started an all-out war. This dude on Twitter named Badge Plug said, 2 fan bases inside the 2K community you don't beef with. 1, Stage players. 2, NBA Youngboy stands. And that's 100% facts. Look, I've been playing Stage every day and it's fire, so I know he wasn't talking trash, but you just don't go at them, bro. They're not gonna stop. They want your neck if you say anything, you know what I'm saying? They're coming at you. But anyway, it continued with this. D-Boy replied and said, "I'm sorry, we like moving forward, not backwards with our careers, not playing a dead game." Power said, "My career doing a lot better than yours, so I'm not sure it's working." And you guys know him and D-Boy were beefing last time on the last video, and it just was a non-stop back and forth. But now we got the whole community's against you, bruh. You might have the numbers, but D-Boy and these other comp players have the people by their side. There's a difference. He said, "Y'all Twitter warriors screaming ratio like anybody cares. Y'all get more Twitter likes than viewers. Randoms." And it continued on and on, with this dude saying, "I ain't gonna lie, your career doing better, but D-Boy got banned, blah, blah, blah." He said, "Why is the guy who ruined his career from being an idiot giving me tips on how to advance my career?" This dude said, "Definitely didn't ruin his career. LOL, he's most likely getting unbanned soon, and he pulls the same amount of views as you. You have 700k subs. LOL, nice. Keep grinding with these $200 clan battle of the years." He said, "None of this is true. Keep hating from the sidelines." So it is just all out, you know. He's replying to everybody on Twitter, but then D-Boy responds himself and says this. "Not gonna lie, your head too big. You really think you're bigger than what you are. Compare people who've been doing YouTube for 4 years compared to me, who've been grinding heavy for 2 weeks." Power said, "You telling anybody their head is too big is just hilarious. You're literally full of yourself." And this guy said, "Well, he actually has a reason to be, bro. Literally just won a 5K wager on a revenge tour, and you call a $200 clan battle the wager of the year, bruh. GTFO." And then D-Boy said, "LMAO." So on to the next one. Yes, it just doesn't stop. He said, "You think everybody's tweeting about you and nobody even knows who you are? You swear everybody knows your special move. You think you're bigger than you are." He said, "You tweeted about my clan. That therefore involves me. Do you have a brain at all?" He said, "Aren't you the dropout?" D-Boy responds with, "I got common sense that makes me money. I don't need school smarts. How the F you got 120k followers and get 5 likes a tweet? Where the F is your support?" He said, "I don't get paid for tweets. Congrats on your likes." Now look, Power was getting ratioed over and over. If you guys know what that is, we talked about it in the last video. And even though it is Twitter likes, because like I'm not really in the middle of this one, although I gave my opinion on the last one and said that I thought Power was wrong, it's still not a good thing to be just getting ratioed like that on Twitter. It's not good for your brand. Like, we all know little kids, they only care about clout. A lot of little kids, that's all they don't click on a video unless it has 30k views. You know what I'm saying? So that's just not good. It doesn't look good for your brand, stuff like that. It's just not something you should be doing, is going back and forth with someone on Twitter, especially when what the consensus is that you're losing. So anyway, D-Boy tweets out and he says, "Is there anyone that likes Power? Question mark. He the first person I see get ratioed every tweet with 100K followers." Then Power responds and says, "I'm gaining followers too. This is fun. Keep it going." He said, "You just said you don't care about Twitter, but bragging about gaining followers, make up your mind." Power responds with, "I don't care about Twitter, like that's meaningless. I do care about growing my total following, which can transfer to other platforms." So it continues once again with, "Not gonna lie, I don't care if you have 600K on YouTube. To me, you are random. I really don't care about you. Just stick to next gen $200 wagers." Power said, "I pulled more viewers in that $200 wager than you do in yours, so you can think whatever you want." He said 15K subs to 600K. By the way, Power said, "It's not my fault people don't want to sub to you. Where's your support? You're getting all these Twitter likes." He said, "You are comparing 2 weeks of hard grinding to 4 years. Are you not comprehending anything I'm saying?" And it continues once again. It just was going on and on with Power saying, "I already know I worked a lot harder than you, and no, I'm not comparing, you are, and that's a comparison you don't want to make." And then he said, "Your ego is insane, bro. On God, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life." And what a surprise. It sounded like a broken record. It kept going. Power tweeted out and he said, "I don't have an ego, but if I did, I'd say something like, I haven't streamed in 4 years on Twitch and still had more followers than you had before you were banned. Good night and stay out of my business." So you thought that was the end, but then we have another tweet where Power said, "Aren't you the dropout?" Chrissy T said, "Ratio." Power said, "Why do you guys think a ratio has any power? Nobody cares. You're literally doing nothing." Then Power went on a little tweeting spree and he said, "Dudes be doing wagers to pay their rent." Crying face. "I'm not scared of anybody in the 2K community. There's absolutely nothing any of you can do to me, and if you want to trash talk me, I'll definitely talk my trash back. Get over it and keep spamming quote unquote ratio." Then he said, "Y'all be clowning low wagers, but you don't even have $100. I don't need to wager people to secure my bread. I play for fun and competition. Any amount my opponent wants to wager, I will. I don't mind low wagers. I don't need your money." He said, "Y'all are broke." That's pretty much what he said. The people that are talking trash to him. Then said, "I understand and appreciate the concern of some of you, but I really don't see anybody going, I liked Power, but he was talking trash to PS4 stage players, so I'm not watching him anymore. Like, I'm fine." But then this is where it all started getting really interesting, all right? Power said, "Me and D-Boy could do a $100,000 wager on next gen. He's on current gen for a reason." D-Boy said, "How about we do this? You play for 5K on current and then I play for 5K in next." Power said, "That's fair. I'll be waiting on Xbox." So they are going to wager. Finally, after all that trash talking, that's the first thing you want to see is, hey, why don't these guys actually play each other? D-Boy said, "I'm the only one with a next-gen Xbox. If I can get a team, we locked." He said, "Bet." He said, "So we locked for win." Power said, "Let me know when you get your team. DM me and we can do it next week." So finally, we got the wager confirmed. I personally cannot wait to see this wager. It's going to be super interesting to me. I've been playing stage like every single day and finding myself watching almost all of these wagers that are happening because I think this is actually what makes 2K fun. Playing at a competitive level and competing. That's what I've been having fun. I've actually literally been having fun playing 2K. It's crazy. I know I'm saying that. And I know current gen and next gen aren't the greatest 2Ks of all time, but I'm enjoying playing the game. On Facebook every day, on my page, all you gotta do is type in Badge Plug. You will find me. It's your boy Badge Plug. You've been plugged in. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new. Leave your opinions down below. Comment down below, Plug Nation. Also, if you made it this far, and I'm out. Peace.